clear communication is, of course, cringe
What if
or
I try
possibly
to show
punishable
you
by
what I
death
could
if you work
be?
at Konami. That's the best explanation I have. The episodes will be releasing monthly on YouTube, making them slightly more consistent than Rada's videos, and will start in April of 2025. Beyond that, the only things we know are that there's going to be 2 confirmed storylines, Sky Striker and The White Story, which has so many potential for jokes. You could go with an MBT reference, you could talk about me anytime I try to say anything in Spanish, you could go for the oh-so-popular Skull Servants, or you could be a Twitter user and just go with straight-up racism. And as it turns out, it's the last one, because it's
I'd have half a mind to switch emulators if it weren't for the fact that every other emulator is like this. I thought this one would be an exception. Unfortunately, I'm wrong.
Attack and abuse, so I'm retconning it even if I'm wrong. Speculation is that these will be short videos, I don't know, ballpark 10 minutes or so. But if you want to waste your life, you can join in the people debating exactly what short means.
I'd take even 5 minutes, honestly.
That's just what a lot of people have been doing. We don't have much else. You have the same animations and teasers from last year. I'll give you a hint, though.
It's missing.
Short for these videos
Never mind, there
is
it
not
is.
all too dissimilar from this one, because we're already done with this segment. We are literally moving on. And that's, of course, to the glorious new alternate arts for Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dark Magician. Coming in the OCG's quarter-century art collection, it's the new Blue Eyes that's a lot like the old new Blue Eyes, and that's because the new revealed arts are the same poses from the quarter-century Pride and Unity sets that were released in March of this year. They just have a slightly different background. That's it. Truly, this is what the kids are hyped for, and will be purchasing the product to get. It's not really very exciting, but it is another chance for me to make either a foot fetish joke or compare it to a SpongeBob theme.
True.
Both the pinnacles of comedy and creativity on the internet. So yeah, shoutouts to Konami for that oh-so-glorious chance to be oh-so-inspired. And so that's all there is for this week's update, and this year's updates, and this year entirely from me. Possibly. There could be a new card report in the next coming days before January 1st. It's entirely possible. I brought that series back, and I plan to continue to keep it back. Sentence makes sense now. Either way, thank you for support all of
that was unfair.
It's been a hell of a year, and hopefully next one can even be a more hell of a yearer. That makes sense, right? We all understood that clearly and transparently, and it was grammatically correct. I certainly think so, and I'm not doing another goddamn take of this. This is, fun fact, my 6th one at the ending. Thank you a ton for the support this year. It's meant a lot. It will continue to mean a lot as we move forward. And next year, I plan to not only make more than 1 video a week, ideally, but to put
I'm not bothering with bombing. I don't need to do that for the dailies anyway.
There is one thing that is absolutely certain, and that's the fact that if you aren't subscribed, not only will you not be impressing your spoken Italian.
Doesn't Ice know that some of their people play on emulator because their programming is so fucking shit? They need to design around us mouse players.
Don't gamble on your quality self-referential titles. Subscribe to Greg Feats of YGO Strats, the channel that'll make you Yu-Gi-Oh!
Ouch. Both of those choices are the same. I mean, they usually are. When? How sweet. Who's Eugene? Oh, I think it's the police guy, the generic police guy. He had a name? Lore drop, baby! Let's go! On a Christmas mail! I have not been kicking members. To be fair, I have not been logging in at all. I should probably change. Well, it doesn't say that you get off if you don't log in. Koa still always always asks for materials of some kind, eh? I have no idea what I should be asking for. I just feel like I should, because it's been a while. And you know, I'll do the beginner level of mania training. The beginner level isn't hard, and you know, it is hypercubes, albeit unnecessary hypercubes. Because I miss playing Path to Nowhere. You know, waifus really do solve everything.
Not online. But if it's for you, I'll give it a try.
Good. I'm enjoying Yu-Gi-Oh's format. Waifus really do solve everything.
Are you here to see me, Chief? Feel free to take the time to look at the new supplies, too.
Malice being an all-girls archetype and stuff is investing me to play a little more into the game at the moment. Cause, not gonna lie, part of the reason I didn't like Fire King Snake Eyes format is because of the card art. Diabell Star and Poplar looks nice, but everybody else in the Snake Eye family looks fucking atrocious. I already said my disdain for it. The fact that Raziel and Malice both have good looking card art on them, I think that's a primary. Let it be known that I don't care how toxic a card game is. It just needs to have good looking waifus on the card, and then I play in a heartbeat, apparently. That's not a lot, honestly. Seriously, when will you two max out? Ooh la la. Really now? Oh, surprisingly, I haven't maxed out Labyrinth. There's also this Shadows. I wonder if I can do any better on the stages. One at a time. You know what? I'm gonna be playing a shit ton today. Let's start with... That's the wrong button. Let's start with the mania training. Which sinners are favored? Of course. Hey, Nox is there, so I'll take it.
Alright, just paid off my first home loan. Now let's go talk to Nook and get that first house upgrade.
Nobody genuinely uses dark sound, right?
Oh.
Right, it is just level 30, so
Today's
we can
topic
afford
is
to
about a
be
glitchy
rather
Animal
chill.
Crossing that actually crashes your game just by simply paying off your home debt. But this glitch goes way beyond just crashing the game. If you set it up right, you can also abuse this to warp yourself to a normally inaccessible beta testing map.
The
All
buff
possible
thingies,
on a
they
vanilla
tell you
console.
which characters
Now, a few people have reported on this glitch before.
show
but
up now.
they've
That's
gotten a lot of
pretty
information
nice.
incorrect, and there is a lot more to this glitch that nobody's ever talked about. So, I thought I'd explore this glitch a little further and explain it in detail to clear up some...
What the fuck?
Now, there's a lot to talk
Okay.
about, and this video may end up a bit long, so grab a drink,
Oh,
and I'll
it's
try to keep things interesting.
It's just straight up everyone
First,
right away,
It
huh?
was originally discovered in 2014 by a speedrunner named Bosby. While doing an all-dead speedrun, Bosby entered the post office at the exact same time the Spring Sportswear event was scheduling a cutscene.
I think fear would
Following
be
this, he then paid
the
off his
cheapest
first
way to
debt
deal
and
with
went
this.
back outside,
New
and
friends.
this happened.
Do you want my mark?
What? What? As you saw, Bosby's villager model was placed in the floor, and then he teleported in front of Nook's cranny. What exactly is even happening? Well, let's break it down.
Who else does summons?
First, this whole glitch is tied to the way that the game handles event
Switch to a
cutscenes.
cooler battle
In this
model
particular
next
case,
time.
Bosby was running the game with his date set to March 20th, which is
Ammo
the
should make
sports
things
fair event
comfortable.
takes place. During this event, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., there are various activities that take place every 2 hours. 9 a.m. to 11
I don't
a.m.
have
is the
much to
morning aerobics.
contribute on the
I want
front
at least
line.
one more summoner for
I'll
Eve.
count on you
1 p.m. to
guys.
3 p.m. is the ball toss, and 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is the tug of war.
You know,
All of these are held at the wishing well, and to handle the transition
let's meme with
between these activities,
Stargazer.
the game usually loads a cutscene at the train station announcing the
those who are
commencement of the
lost.
next activity.
Get in line.
So for
if you want
example,
to have
when
your
the clock
fortune
hits 3
read.
p.m., the ball toss activity is unloaded, and the tug of war actors are loaded instead. Also during this cutscene, our exact player position coordinates and acre are remembered so that the game can place you back exactly where you were after the cutscene. So for example, if I'm in acre A1, with these coordinates, the game will remember this and place me back exactly where I was after the cutscene plays. However, by entering the post office at the exact same time this cutscene is supposed to take place and paying off our debt, we can actually
Whoa,
interrupt
what?
this entire sequence, and in turn, prevent some crucial flags from being updated. See, by talking to an NPC, we can actually pause any time-based cutscene from occurring until after we're done talking to them. This typically works fine, and the cutscene normally plays right after you finish talking, but since we're paying off our debt, the game instead loads a new cutscene of our villagers celebrating being debt-free, and we actually end up replacing the train station cutscene from ever finishing. This effectively cancels all the remaining flags that were supposed to be sent by this train station cutscene. Thus, when we walk outside, we actually end up in this glitchy state where the game thinks we watched the cutscene and attempts to place the player back where they were before, but it actually doesn't have any reference to where our position was originally since we interrupted the process. And since the game does not have a
I will
reference to
read
this
your
original
mind
player
and
position, the game
everything
fail-saves
I
and
will
warps us
see
to our
through
last
your
saved
soul.
position. This is typically right in front of your house where you appear after loading the game. But in Bosby's case, this is right in front of Nook's cranny because he had never saved and reloaded that specific file. Attempting this glitch on a file that's already been saved does indeed work in front of your house. Now, this type of glitch where your player is teleported
Thank you for
is actually
tuning
more
in.
common in video games than you might think, and is known as a wrong warp.
Face your fear head on.
Obvious reasons. Now, Bosby didn't really explore this glitch much further, but once you warp, the game is actually in a very weird state where the sports fair cutscene never got to finish. Going to the wishing well in this state will reveal all the villagers spawned in their default positions, but you cannot actually loot or interact with them. And attempting to leave this acre will crash the game, and also destroy your ears.
Oh.
However, if you perform this glitch and avoid the wishing well acre, we have effectively obtained a form of cutscene storage in Animal Crossing, and this is the first time I've ever heard
I
someone
will
talk about
read your
this.
mind
Now,
and
you may have heard
everything
of cutscene
else.
storage before
I
in
will
games like The
see
Wind
through
Waker,
it
where
too.
speedrunners often have Link score the
Quiet.
cutscene that they're getting an item in the chest, which impacts his collision in beneficial ways. This glitch appears to work similarly in Animal Crossing, and in this game state, you can actually enter a building and reload the overworld to trigger the two cutscenes we interrupted previously, those two being the debt-free celebration cutscene and the sports fair transition cutscene. These two cutscenes are effectively stored in memory and won't play until we exit the building and reload the overworld. You can even do this on the island and force these cutscenes to play hours after their scheduled time. You may also choose to save the game while having cutscene storage, which will clear memory and allow you to effectively
I
skip
will
watching
read
the
your
debt-free
mind
celebration
and
cutscene.
everything
I
else.
suppose this can
I
save
will
a few
see
seconds on
through
a
your
speedrun that
soul.
requires you to save, like the 100% category, but we're talking like seconds off of a 16-hour run. Maybe cutscene storage will be more useful in the future, but for now, I can't really think of any further applications of it. Anyways, back on the topic of the main glitch, Bosby's accidental discovery was actually pretty huge, and players quickly tried to replicate it. They set their dates to March 20th and attempted to enter the post office.
Sure, let's
at
get the
exact
best of both
10
worlds.
but they found
Worlds.
that exiting either crashed
Oh, we
the
can
game
choose two.
immediately, or even crazier, warped them to an entirely new map. For this to work, it's mostly the same as previously described, but there are two additional conditions. First, the post office must be in acres A1 or
I will
A2.
read your
And
mind
second,
and
you cannot have the
everything
game in a space with an active sports fair activity.
Quiet.
That is, no activity should be loaded by the game when you do this version of the glitch. This can be achieved by having the time you enter the post office be the start of the sports fair at 9 a.m. or by loading your save file 5 minutes or less before a scheduled event. With these conditions satisfied, performing the same glitch again will not warp us to our default save position, but will instead warp us to an entirely different data testing map using our current player coordinates as a reference. This crazy glitch occurs because this time, you do not have that text appear that interrupts the cutscene, which makes it the post office. Remember when I said that the train station cutscene attempts to put the player back where they were? Well, with these cutscenes actually scheduled to play now, the player position order is far appropriately handled by the game this time. The game attempts to update our position at the exact same time our town map is uploading to play that train station cutscene. Since the game is attempting to place us on an unloaded chunk of the map, the game instead defaults to the first map it has in its files, which just so happens to be its beta testing. Now, the reason why the post office must be in acres A1 or A2, our coordinates will exit the post office in these acres align exactly with actual collisions on this beta map.
Dance begin.
The post office in acres A4 or A5 will actually crash your game, since acres A4 and A5 do not actually exist in this beta map. Using X to bypass the crash handler, you can actually see that the game does attempt to warp you to the beta map when you choose acre A4 or A5, but you end up stuck in the void indefinitely. Anyways, once you're in the beta map properly, there are a number of things to explore here. Most notably, there's a bunch of pitfalls, and you can also interact with these villagers with glitchy
I should
names.
switch to a
Side
cooler
note,
battle model
this is actually the
next
default
time.
name for all villagers, and it's left untranslated from Japanese. When converting these buggy names into hexadecimals, and then comparing it to the Japanese version, we actually get the placeholder names Johnny B, which is the equivalent of something akin to John Doe in English. Quick shout out to Kyler for discovering this detail a few years ago. Anyways, you're free to talk to some of these villagers, but they all default to saying the same thing, except for the villager in the campsite. You can wander around further if you'd like, look at every type of tree, play with the ball, get stuck in the pitfalls, but be careful not to open the map on invalid acres, since, you guessed it, that will crash the game. See, your player position does get updated to the beta map, but your UI map position still references your own town. So for example,
Holy
my
shit,
original
what?
town, Acre A2 is actually the furthest north you can go, and you cannot go any further up. But on the beta map, you actually can go further north by 1. And since our original town doesn't expect you to be above Acre A2, the game isn't really sure how to handle this when you open the UI map and simply crashes.
Go.
Anyways, once you've had your fun, the only way off of this beta map is to reset the game.
Face your fear head on.
All for just trying to pay off your home debt. Interestingly, there are actually a whopping 50
Face your
beta
fear
maps left in the
head
game
on.
files. But as of right now, we can only legitimately visit this first one without hacking.
I will
Maybe
read
one day
your
we'll
mind
visit the others
and
legitimately,
everything
but I'm
else.
somewhat doubtful,
I will
given that the way
see
the game
through your
defaults to the
soul.
first map. Regardless, it's definitely amusing how someone came across such a huge glitch randomly, and how someone could realistically have their game crash or just be teleported
Warning!
to a weird glitchy map just by trying to pick up their home.
Warning!
Anyways, hopefully this video sheds some more light on this topic. If you like this video, my channel is actually focused on diving into the more technical, computer
I
science
will
details
read
of
your
animal
mind
crossing
and
topics, just like
everything
this one.
else.
So some
I
of my
will
other
see
videos may
through
also
your
be really
soul.
fun.
Thank you for
Regardless,
tuning in.
thank you for watching this video to the
The
very end.
cats.
Hopefully you found it entertaining or at least somewhat interesting.
Quite.
Thanks again for watching.
Overcloak. Warning!
Yeah, okay, I still need to activate it once, but it's permanent. Holy shit.
It's Orcust. I am super excited that the new Orcust support is seeing play. Looks like it is good enough to compete with the meta, and gives the archetype a ton of stuff to do, even off of a single summon.
How do I use these grids?
You all are excited for it. Dash says support. I know they're not the thing today, and you don't like little terminal. But the first time I ever made two of Elysians was with Jurak. I'm so excited they are finally
Thank you for
heading
tuning in.
Listen, I don't like dual terminal in terms of the storyline, which is just all over the place. Dual terminal in terms of the actual game, that's something else. The dual terminal archetypes range from unplayably bad to super interesting, and I actually do really like the new Jurak Taco that finds a home in Diamond. I think it is unlikely, almost out of character because I'm looking forward to tons of card releases, but mostly I'm looking forward to receiving one of these in mail and putting it on my shelf. I appreciate that they're like, made a bunch of big-ass anime robots. I guess the next obvious step is to make figures of them, and they look great. The law says the redheaded stepchildren of the heroes finally getting more modern support inside of the new cards. Even if it ends up not playable, I'm just gonna find for another set of random one-ups. The Evil Hero stuff releasing in the upcoming set looks really, really cool. It gives Hero a lot of new stuff to do. It sets up like big gates before you can get into Virud. Just one problem, when it comes to deck construction, it necessitates you play another slew of one-ups you don't want to draw. This deck is more garnet than playable at this point. Paintball says the GX Remaster getting shown widescreen seems cool. I just hope they don't go too ham and do 3D
models for the 2D animated monsters. Maybe it also means we get a release of the English GX OST. Have you heard the riffs from it? But Dyer, throw that up for a second. I think that the GX remaster is going to be awesome. I will say, don't get your hopes up. That doesn't mean we're getting the 4th season localized. Scarlett probably has the right answer. I'm super excited for the Chronicles to come out starting in April. The short-form anime is going to be releasing on YouTube from Konami Animation, which is, I think, some episodes are about the branded storyline, some episodes are about Rey fighting Hitler.
Warning!
There will come a day.
What?
Flagship property isn't about white women. When are we getting the potato and chips anime? I'm telling you, are we getting Omega Ego Gay Sex Adventure? Throwing her around like a plushie.
Face your fear head
I
on.
like to soak my DFL star in milk and then throw it at the wall so it makes a large thud and then suck the milk out of it and then synchro summon. She's so stinking cute. I love that the plushie has chocolate on it. That's gonna be hard to come up with. Phase 3, Phase of the Master has some real promise with some impressive support cards from Galaxy Eyes Union and the unannounced Odeon stuff. I'm really excited about this. The unannounced Odeon stuff has me doing this.
Quiet.
Because, on one hand, Odeon's thing is like trap monsters, which like is kind of a pretty low ceiling in terms of how good those cards can be. On the other hand, the last time they did one of these, they retrained the unplayable
Who are these?
Helmet to format warping super cards. So I don't know if you could really put anything on a card. 2025, here I went up YCS. Good luck, Dyer. Excuses. You new players not prepared for a deck as bad as the Dragon Maid to actually be playable now. Not since you
Face your fear head on.
Warning! 2025 is the year of the maids from your lips to God's ear. I heard a lot of this the last time there was Legacy Dragon Maid support, that we were going to enter 4 months of in-range Dragon Maid format. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope I get to see. Ooh, Tempest, you're exactly the person I wanted to hear from on this. When they first announced the Dragon Maid, it was cool. But that's acceptable. It's been a power track for a long time now. And then they announced the Dragon support. I cannot wait. Once again, Blaster Day. It's going to have a year of vanilla approaches. I'm beyond hyped for Primite to have a place at the top tiers along with
misfortune
although Konami would like to get that
finally
same level of treatment to a real vanilla like Goat Summon Skull, that would be great. Blue Eyes synchroing off for Tapio, Sphere Dragon. Ugh, okay, whatever. You are no normal summon fan anyway. Honestly, as someone who doesn't have a lot of budget for playing paper, I'm hopeful you master dual formats once we take 10 times the pack and make it watch the pretty birds fly. I'm really excited to see what a best of 1 format will make of modern TCG cards. I think Fiendsmith and Gravery is going to be so crucial.
I really don't like the format of Mania training though in the end. I don't like long form content. I don't think Path to Nowhere's system really specializes in allowing for stuff like that to shine. Especially with how prevalent one-time use crime brands are.
Given that it already lagged behind the OCG by like a year and a half. Engraver is my #1 monster. Dual Tanking! Unironically, it's become my favorite PvP series. I've been watching it quite a few times at this point.
Mania training is just such a different format, not one that I like personally.
So I'm here for a break.
Am I still using fucking TCG terms? Good God, like format the fuck.
It's kind of been creeping into my brain as well. I'll go to locals and like, I'm just thinking to myself doing normal Snake Eye combos. I'm like, the stakes are so fucking low here. What are you playing for? The difference between 6 packs and 7 packs? I should put some dogs. I could put some cards in my deck and my opponent will be like, oh, I want people, when I summon a monster, to have that deep impulse within them that causes them to go, these 2 cards. Oh god, this card I think is coming out soon. But when it comes out, it will be a problem. 7th Tachyon is an incredibly powerful card, and is going to really find a home in everything. More of this, yes. The more this is the thing. The more like League of Legends LCS Konami becomes, the better it's going to get. The production value is increasing. We're doing little skits at events now. We're releasing Valence in a place where there's thousands of people excited to actually hear it, and we have the benefits, unlike the LCS, of playing a game that's actually good. Blue Eyes Meta, sweet! It's so funny that these cards make Blue Eyes Meta. I will say, it's a damn shame that they're not going to be legal for YCS Birmingham because of product delays, but I'm still super excited to summon a Blue Eyes Ult a million times. A little bit of a hater one, but I'm happy to see the end of what feels like 2+ years, 3+ of the 25th anniversary celebration. UCR's doing all, but I want to see what they do differently after the fact. On one hand, it was
It's already dashed out?
A lot of people remembered Yu-Gi-Oh! From their childhood, and were like, okay, I'm going to get that in, because of all the celebration about DM Boomer Battle nostalgia. Now that we can no longer link to it,
What the
I want
fuck?
to directionally go. So we do kind of need to evolve.
Oh god.
Anyway, everyone ready for the 30th anniversary next year? I'm also really excited because obviously it'll be a reprint of Gloves and other price staples, but I'm nostalgic based on the fans, but I think the most most excited I will be the entire year until they announce Arios. If Arios is in this set, a cataclysmic day on Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Twitter that I want to be here for. If he's not in here, it will be similarly funny. Surprising seems still like good, but they're just changing something. Well, I don't think 2045
I should switch to a cooler battle model next time.
I hope 2045 is a transition towards kind of
That's why you're sober.
Jessica, I think,
Life's good as long as you stay closer.
Firewall debugging completed. You're under protection now.
On top, dancing one and up when I'm tied to the floor. Adrenaline rush right to my core, to my core.
Time for
1
the
second
toys
now
to
you
meet
realize
my
you'll be
friends.
on the joint. You'll be on the spotlight. Alright, pumping round and around and around. Hearing something tense up and down, up and down.
Perfect. 2025 is a game really exciting year for Yu-Gi-Oh! I will be playing the entire time, and I hope to see you.
All that matters is I clear it. I think you will still be
Firewall
useful here.
debugging completed. You're under protection now.
Joking.
Go. Too noisy. Quiet. Too noisy. Quiet.
Face your fear head on. Overflow. Warning!
D-Matrix. Activate.
Overflow. Warning! Overflow. Warning! Thank you for tuning in.
Go. Too noisy.
They weren't
Quiet.
kidding when they said they have lots of HP.
D-Matrix. Activate.
Overflow. Warning!
Jesus Christ.
I'll intercept the pursuit. Chief, retreat without fear and be careful.
Take my eyes off you.
And they're still towering black. My hazy fiesta of all things. Nine was what I went for, so let's try to do that. I think I can deal with no empower.
let any of this unsightly trash escape.
Who's Rust Fire? Jeez. Dun 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 dun.
I'll relieve them of pain. I should switch to a cooler battle model next time. Nancy, go! I can hear it. The prelude of the dance.
Oh, right. Shit.
Too noisy. Quiet. Enjoy the release. Oops, I'm gone. It's all right. Just a little mistake.
I think I can still handle this one. I just...
Are you here to entertain me? That's great.
What's that?
Thank you for your warm invitation.
I'm still using a shield. I hate it, but I don't think I can take advantage of the shield here.
is your only destination.
Too noisy. Quiet. I smell the sweet fragrance of soap. I smell the sweet fragrance of soap.
Overflow. Warning!
D-Matrix, activate!
Tear it up. Gobble it down.
Jesus Christ.
They're not yet at...
I forgot this is just how it is. I think I'm just gonna go do my dailies on...
Alright. This code looks pretty good. And... oh. Ah, this 0 is supposed to be an uppercase O. This lowercase L is probably supposed to be an uppercase I.
I played Path to Nowhere somewhere else, didn't
Really?
I?
Oh, this other lowercase L is also supposed to be an uppercase I.
I think this video was
Now,
also
how
Path
many
to...
more?
Might as well do my dailies.
The Animal Crossing series is famous for its relaxing gameplay with lots of things to collect and show off. Since the original game on GameCube, and due to the vast number of items in the game, the developers really wanted a way for players to be able to send and share these items amongst each other. This is more easily handled in future games by just connecting online and visiting each other, or by sending items through the mail. But this is 2002, meaning the internet is not really an option for GameCube owners. I mean, technically it was through a broadband adapter, but let's be real, who actually owns this thing? I mean, only 4 GameCube games actually supported true online play, and 3 of them were Phantasy Star Online. So, Animal Crossing instead came up with a password system that allowed players to share items with each other. This works by going up to Tom Nook, selecting Hear Code, and giving him the exact name of the player and town you want to send the item to. He will then take the item you want to send permanently and then spit back a disgusting 28-character case-sensitive password. You can then jot down this password, making sure to write down each character as it appears exactly, and then give it to your friends in real life. Your friends can then use this password in their game to obtain that item that you gave to Tom Nook. And on paper, this is a pretty cool system, but in practice, this is pretty annoying and abuseful. First, the password is again 28 characters long, which is already pretty long by itself, and those 28 are generated from 64 possible characters. This includes things like 0 and uppercase O, as well as lowercase l and uppercase I, which look practically identical in common fonts when shared online. And this is actually what I was complaining about in the intro. This is actually rectified in future Nintendo consoles, so on the Switch eShop, for example, you actually cannot input the letters I or O, since no codes will include these letters. Next, you can only input 3 passwords per day, meaning that you have to wait an entire day or time travel if you want to share more than 3 items at a time. And finally, while the internet wasn't very accessible on the GameCube, it was otherwise beginning to truly blossom in the early 2000s. This means that password mechanic meant to just be shared between friends was now about to be shareable to every player with a computer and an internet connection. Early on, fans even created a group called Project Hyrule, whose goal was to amass and publish a list of Nook codes for every item in the game. Again, these codes were specific to an inputted town and player name, so to participate in this project or receive codes, each member had to use the player name Link and the town name Hyrule. This was a pretty cool project, and essentially allowed players to obtain a lot of items without actually having to find them themselves. But this was of course limited to using those Zelda-specific names for your player and town. This left some players a bit dissatisfied, and it's only natural that when playing a game like Animal Crossing, you'll want to use your own player and town name. This meant that players were naturally eager for a way to obtain these codes for their own towns and player names. And, given that Tom Nook can accept basically any
they're
valid
actually
player
somewhere
and town
else
name,
this
the game
time.
had to use some algorithm to generate these codes. So, let's take a closer look. There are actually several types of codes in this game, and the ones we've been talking about are just the user codes given to you by Tom Nook, which many people just call Nook codes or passwords. Now, talking about all of these would take forever, and some of these were only used in Japan, but the most interesting ones here are still the Nook codes, so we'll only be focusing on breaking down
Here comes another.
most of these codes are the ones pulled from Nook by giving him an item, as well as a valid user and town name. And, given the length of the generated code and the possible number of key parameters involved, there are apparently estimated 10 to the 40th power valid passwords, which is, more than the estimated number of stars in the universe and grains of sand on Earth combined. So, quite a lot. Luckily, the process of figuring out how these codes are generated and decrypted, of course, does not involve trying to figure out these patterns. Rather, decompiling tools were used to investigate the game's assembly code, convert it into readable C code, and then finally determine how the game handles these passwords. Still, it turns out Animal Crossing's process for this is still decently complex, utilizing bit shifts, shuffles, and reversing, as well as transposition, RSA, and substitution ciphers. Now, if you're like me, you probably do not specialize in cryptography, and this all may sound pretty boring and scary, but from my understanding, these are all pretty standard data encryption methods. I just think it's funny that Animal Crossing has all these layers just for a simple password.
Delicate as silk.
Especially when the Japanese group has rather simple cases of comparison.
Everybody stand back! To ashes! Your life is mine.
In this game, no code encryption only really uses bit shifts and reverses, making it not too hard to decrypt, even without having access to the encryption. But for some reason, when localizing this game in English, Nintendo America popped off and introduced all these extra encryption.
Don't waste my time.
But while Animal Crossing systems are more complex and near impossible to crack from the outside, we still understand how the developers use these new methods by looking at the code. And that's exactly what players did to crack the code and create their own generators separate from the game. So we can essentially see how the game takes a player name, town name, and item, and runs it through several layers of encryption to spit back the code. Through this, it was found that the developers actually used the real names of their own development team as part of the transposition cipher step. If you look hard enough, you can actually find the names of several Nintendo of Japan and Nintendo of America staff members as string variables inside the code, which are used entirely for the purpose
let's finish this fast.
Wow, synchronized.
The game's sound director.
Teamwork is tricky. Don't waste my time.
That was quick. Personal translator for Zero Motor. And finally, with all said and done, password is supposed to pass with
I am cutting edge of fashion. Let's get this long. Don't waste my time.
While still passing this checksum, this has been documented to happen more than you might think, and can actually result in some pretty substantial glitches. But I won't spoil a future video. Anyways, through following the game's code like this, players were able to create and share their own Nook code generators online, effectively making Project Hyrule obsolete. This meant you can now go online, enter your own player name, town name, and a valid desired item, and get your own uniquely generated code to tell Tom Nook in-game. Amazingly, the first documented instance of a program being released like this was all the way back in 2004, just 2 years after the game's release. This program is credited to Moogly Guy, also known as Ultra Moogle Man, and is apparently practically perfect, minus a few negligible errors.
Alright, let's finish this fast.
I cannot express how impressive this was for the time, and I think it's pretty fascinating that someone was able to follow the news like this all the way back in 2004. More recently, efforts on the Animal Crossing decompilation project have actually built those generations flawlessly, allowing for perfect password generation.
Take a deep breath and grit your teeth. Take a look behind the veil.
Here,
all eyes on you.
Want to know that white get most items found in this catalog?
My wait was not in vain.
This includes all fish and bugs, as well as the Forbidden 4 NES games in Ice Climber, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, and The Legend of Zelda. One of my first videos actually touches on this a bit, explaining how obtaining items through the e-reader does not have this blacklist at all, allowing for all of these to be obtained through e-reader.code modifications. And there's actually a lot more interesting things I've found involving the e-reader, but again, I'll leave that for a future video. In terms of this video, that about sums up the history of Nook codes and the process players went through to program their own generators. I hope you found the history of all this interesting, or learned something new about the slightly over-the-top encryption methods that Nintendo used for this system. Big shout out to Network for sharing a lot of details with me on this topic, and further thanks to Praxo for her contribution to the decompilation project. I'll link to their work, as well as the usable code generator in the description. And as I wrap this video up, I'd like to quickly touch on some recent announcements. First, I now have a public Twitter you can follow at ACHunterR. Further, a few of you have contacted me about wanting to...
Okay, this is the place.
All of the support it's received on its lifespan,
where do
the
we go
OG
next?
of Yu-Gi-Oh! Can't
I'm
put
not
it all
completely
together.
sure.
For
I
this
knew
case,
it.
did,
My theory was correct.
So before
Sounds
you
like
guys
he's
burn
got
this
some.
up to
If you
stake,
have any
grab your
suggestions,
Office
then
One,
I
grab
believe
yourself
the
this
mechanism
intelligence
that the
and
lines
do
are
it with everyone's
indicating is...
favorite fan deck.
That
Watch
is a
this video
possibility.
and see why Dark Magician
According to my
failed
theory,
severely.
it might not have been set up by
To
humans.
start off, we'll
But
review the
perhaps,
cards that
speaking
came
of
out in
which,
2014
the spirit doors
the
your
viable
tribe.
support that was
I remember
actually
now.
used for the Dark
After
Magician.
learning
There's
about
no
the
need to
legend,
look back on
I
anything before
realized
then,
that it was
as
connected
nothing
to
before
my...
2014
Even though I
Dark
haven't found an
Magician was
exact
viable.
route to the
No one was
mysterious
gambling on
island,
Time Wizard
I'm
to make
fairly
Dark
certain...
Fade in
Firstly,
top tournament.
it's at...
Skilled Dark
Therefore,
Magician,
the...
spell counter mechanics was
Amazing.
awful back then.
Now everyone's
Dark Variety
contributing.
Warlock wasn't worth
You
the struggle
flatter
that
me.
was built in.
All right.
No one was going out of the way
Then
to
let's
play Dark
start searching
Magician
for the
just to
dra-
equip
That's
magic
just a
formulas.
quick and easy
The
name.
last thing
I won't be able to
anyone
include it
does
in my
in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is
thesis.
read, so why
Given
would you
the
force your
dragons
monster
used the
to do it?
device long
The only
before
way
the
any
human...
Dark Magician saw play
then
was if its name was
let's
Dark
start.
If I'm not
Chaos
mistaken...
hits. Some cards did see some sort of testing, if any play at all, when the new Dark Magician support came out. Like Now's the Dire Star Attack and everyone's
Looks
top
like we can
waifu, Dark
activate it
Magician
once we get
Girl.
close
These
enough.
cards would pop
But
up
according to the
occasionally,
map,
as
there
you'll
should
see
be
throughout
two
the video.
more Flagellants.
The quest to make Dark Magician top tier started with Dragons of Legend series. Dark Magician received a fusion monster called Amulet. A
annoying.
dragon that required a Dark Magician and a Dragon monster, or just using the card released with it in Dragon of Legends, the Eye of Timaeus, to special summon it. When it's special summoned, you can remove any amount of spells and get the graveyards to have a like attack with each of them. This monster is destroyed, you can target a spellcaster to grave and special summon it. The Eye of Timaeus was a normal spell card that targeted one Dark Magician monster you control with a
Let's hope you put up a good fight.
The monster in the field.
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
Skyward! Dark Magician has access to almost Dark Magician monster experience, including cards like Paladin and Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. If you also ran Dark Magician Girl as well. Amulet Dragon, though, had a new effect. It also didn't help that by around 2014, the meta flowed with more heavy transforming decks, like Cash floating around. It's not like Dark Magician players had much to build Dark Magician with anyway. It was just two cards and the dumpster fire hold spells and monsters they had before 2014. The heartbreaking part is that Eye of Timaeus didn't see play, and it's mainly for almost
I need to activate it
working
first.
on one card that was given alongside the Dark Magician support in Dark Illusion in August 2016. But before Dark Illusion, Konami released an X.
Oh no, the map fucking tells me where they are. Oh my god.
Now, how to control the phlogiston nodes?
Attack and 21 defense. They require 2 levels of the monsters, but can also be summoned by using a rank 6 spellcaster Xyz monsters material. Once per turn, you can attach an Xyz to special summon a normal spellcaster from your hand or deck. And if a normal spellcaster monster declared an attack, you can target one card your opponent controls and you it. This card was originally released in 2014 as a Shonen Jump Potion card, but was then introduced to the Shadow Victory special releases. The rank 6 condition was supposed to be supplemented by using Magic Girl as the option, but that card was never released due to the wishes of Mizuki Takahashi not wanting the card to be edited to release. And nonetheless, we had another option to summon Evan on Evolution thanks to the retail with Peter.
Oh, but
Another
it's way up high.
monster before TCG,
need to find
and
a
the
way up
effect that
there.
is just as good as Magic Gal, as Naruto detached materials and negate the activation of your bonus spell and trap cards. So the Dark Magician fan club had something to look forward to, having 2 boss monsters to look forward to using 3 if your deck included Dark Paladin. However, as stated before, thanks to some terrible wording, this would come back to bite the deck with the Dark Illusion. The Dark Illusion said the Dark Illusion searchers and extenders that had Dark Magician players thankful for not needing to play Dark Magic Curtain. Magician's Rod was level 3 spellcaster that on normal summon allowed you to add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the Dark Magician card in its card text. When this card is in your graveyard your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap, contribute 1 spellcaster monster side of the field and add this card back to your hand. Magician Robes lets you special summon a Dark Magician from your deck by discarding a spell or trap. Also, during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap or card effect, special summon this card from your grave and Ron still seems to be great as it searches for maybe Dark Magician. Well, almost did. This is where the Eye of Timaeus got the short. Rod couldn't search for Eye of Timaeus because Eye of Timaeus listed a Dark Magician monster and not a card called Dark Magician. That one little detail made it difficult to play Eye of Timaeus in the deck, as you likely have to walk into the
Great work, everyone.
and search it with Rod.
Okay, now
This
first,
really hindered
we
making
need to
accurate
figure out
tracking
how to
of Rod
control this
To
thing.
round out the main deck
Is
monsters,
there some-
Magician
See,
of Dark
look at this.
Illusion was a level 7
After activating a
spellcaster.
normal
It was
spirit
treated as
door,
Dark
we could just
Magician
go
field.
ahead and
Once
use
per
it.
turn, you
Also,
can activate
according
each
to
of
the
its
map,
effects.
we need to
During your
activate if we
opponent's
don't
turn,
operate
if
the
you
nodes
activate a spell
properly.
trap effect, you dispose of this card from your hand.
In
If you activate a
theory,
spell
the
trap
process
effect,
should
you
be
turn
very
Dark Magician
safe.
brave and special
But
summon
do you
it,
think you'd
but
be
you'll
able
use
to operate
this
it?
effect once
I
while it's
just
fixed above
tried
the
and
field.
Though I've
To make
never
Dark
tried
Magician
before,
suitable for
I've read
today's
a lot
format,
of
thought it would make sure
information
Dark
and
Magician could fit in by giving
He
the
loves
deck
using
CC
that word, doesn't
and
he?
High Magician was a rank 7 spellcaster with 2300 attack and 2500 defense. That required 2 level 7 spellcasters in its materials. While it had materials,
What
you
if
could
our
activate a
Andra
quick
can
play spell
control
or
it?
trap card from your
Okay,
hand by
well,
detaching
After
execute
all the
material from its card
adventures she's been on,
If it's
handling
destroyed by
something
battle
like
or
this
sent
should
to
be
the graveyard by
easy
an
peasy.
artifact, you can special summon a
Alright.
Dark Spellcaster
Then
from
it'll
your
be
deck
up to
of
the
hand.
Traveler to
Then
stay.
on one
I'll let
card
you
from
know
you.
when we need
Dark
to
Magical
switch
Circle was one of the
nodes.
Dark Magician's
Just
in
make
spell cards.
Wait,
That
wait,
on activation
handling it
lets
this
you
way,
the
don't
top
worry.
3 cards of the deck.
It looks
Just
like the
select one
spirit
Dark
ways are all
Magician
above
or a
the
spell
water.
trap that lists the
It's so
Dark Magician in
high.
hand,
You'll
while
be
the rest go
falling
back
so
to the top of
Do
the
you
deck.
still remember the promise we
once per
made?
turn,
Only
when
those who
Dark
can
Magician
trust
special
each other
summon,
with
you
their
can target
lives
one
can
card
reach
from
the
controls
mysterious
and gain
island.
initiative. Dark Magic
Since-
Expanded was a quick play spell card.
Other
Like
fucking
each
water
effects
video
based on
game
how
logic.
many so Dark Magician girls are on the field or in the graveyard. In 1, a Dark Spellcaster gains 1000 attack until the end of the turn. 2 or more made your opponent unable to respond to your activated spell and trap cards or effects, and card effects can't destroy your spell and trap cards. 3 or more, all of your Dark Spellcaster monsters are unaffected your opponent's artifacts until the end of the turn. Illusion Magic was the first spell with trigger Spellcaster to add up to 2 Dark Magicians from your deck or hand. And finally, Magician's Navigation wraps the Dark Magician's core. This trap lets you spell summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand, and then 1 level 7 or level spellcaster monster from your
switch to
deck.
the spirit
Also,
way
if
on
you
the
control
right.
Dark Magician, except on the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish from your grave to target 1 spell or trap card from controls, and it gives effects until the end of the turn. The first way Dark Magician supported was Price. Magician's Rod was a solid searcher outside the Blunder Bay with 9 lines. The Dark Magic Circle combined with Magician's Navigation or Magician's Robe was an excellent way to interrupt your opponent's plays by bringing a Dark Magician to the field during your opponent's turn.
Look at her go.
Activate Circle's effective manage card on the field. However, it still had a bit of flaws. Circle's Search effect was a complete RNG game, and it only worked if a card or Dark Magician in its text was in the top 3 cards of the deck. It didn't really allow you to dig the deck with being happy to play. It doesn't help that both the Circle's effects were also hard for turns, so seeing multiple of these cards could become a burden. I think this is more problematic when the deck was too slow to get into the boss monster. Though the deck had a plethora of options to work during your opponent's turn, it was difficult going into your boss monster with the Eye of Timaeus being unsearchable, and Magician and Dark Illusion almost being unsummonable on your turn for Xyz plays. Dark Magician was clearly favored as a control deck with a few flaws. Paladin Oracle Bahan and Paladin Oracle Mana
Is she talking to herself?
Bahan can be special summoned in turn. When it battles a dark monster, its attack is doubled if you damage them. If it's destroyed by battle artifact, you can special summon a Dark Magician from your hand down to the graveyard. Mana can be special summoned if your opponent activates an artifact that targets 1 spellcaster. Draw. It prevents your level 7 or higher spellcaster from being destroyed by artifacts, and if it's destroyed by battle artifacts, special summon a Dark Magician girl from your hand. While both cards help summon Dark Magician and Dark Girl, there's some conditions were too specific to be consistent. Bahan was a dead card in opening hands, and mistiming it drawn your artifacts like Darkness or Sickness or Seven Stars. It had a more likely chance of clogging your hand than actually being helpful. Mana's effects required spellcasters to be targeted and only 1. And it was another case of a card needing your opponent to
That
target yours.
was
It wasn't like it stopped whenever targeting your monster to
There were a
not
couple of
resolve
moments
either.
time I
You'd
thought
just
it
be
was...
playing a card that could possibly
I'm
mention Dark
confident.
Magician Draw, which the deck didn't
It
perform.
appears the
The
phlogiston
weirdest part
notes
about the
here
dark side
need to
dimension
automatic...
pack
In that
was that the
case,
card that helped Dark
no matter
Magician
what
the
happens
most
next,
was
we...
Dark Magic Veil. An indirect spell
Do you
card
hear
lets you pay
that?
1,000 life points to special summon a Dark Spellcaster from your hand or graveyard.
And a
They
bunch
might
of
as well just put
whirlpools
Dark
just
Magician
appeared...
on its name,
Yes,
as this card has
we need
most
to get to
uses
higher...
with just its archetype. In a legendary Dex 2, the deck would receive one of its most well-known trap cards. Eternal Soul and Dark Burning Magic Attack doned the title as support to help Dark Magician. Eternal Soul was the main star out of the two. This continuous trap card
look over
prevented
there.
every Dark Magician in your monster zone from being
giant
unaffected by
whirlpool over
hard
there.
effects.
Yep.
Its effect lets you
And that's
spell
our
summon a
next
Dark Magician Brave, or add 1,000 Knives or Dark Magic Attack from your deck to hand. If you think this card sounds too good, that's because we've yet to tell you what happens if this card's
The info I deciphered
where
from the
all
map
monsters
points
on
to
your side
only
of the
one
field are
possibility.
destroyed.
No
One of
way.
the best
Forgive
cards
me for
for the
being frank,
archetype
but
is
as a
also
guide of the
towards
people
deck.
of the Springs,
This card
I'm
is a
sure...
double
Yes, I
sword
know.
that absolutely
But
is
everything
mandatory
points to the
run
pack.
And what if you're
instead.
wrong?
Dark Burning
Wrong
Magic
drop.
Attack was a different play spell.
I'm
that
not
can destroy
trying to
all
be
cards you
unreasonable.
controls if you
The
control
spirit
monsters whose
waves
original
must have
names are Dark
affected the
Magician
nearby
and Dark
bodies.
Magician
At this
Pearl.
rate,
While this
some of the
card
land that
was
was once
devastating
underwater
with
will
the
soon
ability to
reappear at the
completely
surface and
override
see
your
the light
opponent's
of
field,
day
the
again.
requirements
So,
made it difficult
our
to destroy.
goal should be the
Outside of
shallow
Magician's
waters.
navigation, it was difficult
We
to get
enter that
both cards
vortex.
filled simultaneously and to play
I can't find any evidence to refute your claim for the...
But it seems like it's time for our collaboration.
As a card requires a monster
I
whose
have
original
reached this
name is
conclusion
Dark
based on my
So overall,
field.
the archetype
No,
gained one
I
of its
refuse.
best and
You!
worst cards.
Letting your clients separate themselves...
Then we can implement the plan I proposed at the
Well, we
very
could have the
beginning.
video here, as you can see
Oh,
why
but you
it's
can't do
failed.
that once you've
Since some
tried... How
Magician
about
players
this?
love pain, we
You,
here at
Lucario,
Vlogs
I
will
know
have
you like
the
to
fun,
explain
giving
everything
you
with
a
theories
surprise
and logic.
story
Well,
of the
Traveler,
for
come
Dark
on.
Magician
Let's get
in
going.
Structure Deck Yugimoto. The Yugi-based Structure Deck, Dark Magic Inheritance was the newest card for the deck.
Yeah, because his way of living is reasonable. This is fucking stupid. This reminds me of Avatar from James Cameron, the second one.
A card that had a use of your choice reject your hand was always a welcome addition. Though, the deck didn't warrant running this card because Rod did the same thing without needing a constant activation. So the deck had a lot of search power for its spells and traps. But what about the Dark Magician itself? There wasn't any way to get a Dark Magician quick enough if it didn't have it. Yes, there was draw power, like a lure, a lot of desires, and stuff all the time, but nothing that gets your Dark Magician
The massive whirlpool is up ahead.
consistently to your
Just
hand.
the thought of going in there is making my... Do you also think that this is a reckless... It's okay. That's completely normal. This is just how it is to be a god. This gives us the power to decide which way we should go. But although I'm pretty convinced that all the leads we have collected... If the scholars still choose to reject my plan, the same goes for the two of you. The good news is that I...
During either player's turn in the damage calculation, if a Dark Spellcaster monster bounces its monster, you can send this card to the hand or graveyard and boost that monster's attack by 2,000. To say Apprentice Illusion Magician was a threat sent to the archive at this time was an understatement.
You're right.
The deck finally had a way to get to
That
the
means
stone
we need to
show.
hurry.
Miss
While
Guy,
not losing
we have
her
a
ability
problem.
to still play Rod alongside
Karia?
Illusion,
What are you
who
doing?
brings
I
the
tried to
special
persuade him, but
Also, the
Brond
attack boost
said
effect
that the
helped your
water to the
monsters be
south was
monsters
about to be
that cover
shallow enough to
Magician's
wade
attack
through.
power, like the Blue Eyes
After I
Gas
took a
Magic
few
Dragon,
steps,
which was
not much of a swimmer, so
out since
why
Magic
did this have
Circle
to
was
happen
not
now? No
effective
time to
max
hesitate.
speed on target.
I'll get in the water and
And
rescue
its
him.
attack power
Just tell...
standing at a whopping 4,000. Now, 2 heavy breaths, 4 minus power. How would you protect your backbone cards when you blasted into the shallow? Dark Magician the Dragon.
Where did all these fucking shits come from?
Its materials were Dark Magician and 1 Dragon Monster. It's treated as Dark Magician on the field, and while it's optimal, you can target your spell cards with trap effects and destroy your spell trap cards. Finally, Dark Magician players can win without fear because they also destroyed in this field. The card can also be treated as Dark Magician on the field or the graveyard as well. Eternal Soul provides immunities from artifacts and special summon if your opponent happened to have a way out. There's just one minor issue that Konami forgot while making this card. How are players supposed to make it? There was no dragon support that supplemented Dark Magicians without having a chance of being on the break. And we still have the ongoing issue of Iron to Maya
guess you're all right.
searchable. To make this card,
Thank you
mental
so
bricks
much,
to play,
Miss Guide.
and already
She has a name.
To make things even worse,
Judging
the
by
rise of
the changes
Handcraft
in the
began to
waters,
sweep
it's just...
ECG. with Ash Blossom and June Spring being introduced in the TCG in 2017.
Seems we missed.
Why would you give up on such an opportunity?
How can
Dark
you say
Magician
that?
wasn't a deck made to go through multiple hand
It's already
traps,
bad.
let alone one
I'm
of
really
any
sorry.
choice.
Don't
With the
feel
meta
guilty,
getting faster
Karia.
and decks like Zodiac and
The
both
only
having faster
problem is
backs
that
and
we
room to
still
run
don't
other
know it.
engines
It's
to
already
make more
getting late now.
versatile, Dark Magician
Now that
was
you mention
utterly
it,
left in the
Paimon
dust,
is
making
feeling a little
it unable to
hungry.
compete with the meta. More importantly, it was still hard to summon
We have
Dark
plenty
Magician
of
on the first
tasty
turn
things to
without cards
eat.
like Dark Magic Veil at your disposal. However, by the time Dual Power came along in 2019, Dark Magician would have options to work for boss monsters.
Is this the spot?
Dual Power
Let
really
Paimon
did
and the
Dark
Traveler
Magician
help. Go ahead.
swell.
I'll take
Dual
care of the
Power,
fire.
as it gave them a ritual monster, a fusion, and 2 new spell cards help facilitate Dark Magician Girl into their deck. Dark Cavalry was a level 8 fusion monster which required Dark Magician and a word monster to be made. Cavalry gained 100 attack for each
What do you
spell
think?
card in the field and in the graveyard.
This is a
inflict
specialty
piercing
dish I
damage,
learned to
and
make
with
that's
a card more effect targeted a card
Karia
in the field,
helped out quite
you
a
discard
bit,
one
so
card
she
from your hand
deserves.
and negate the effect
No.
and destroy the card.
I'm
Magician
just...
of Chaos was a ritual chaos form to be summoned. It's treated as Dark Magician along
What
with
was
the
that? Don't
graveyard,
worry.
and if a
Remember
spell
the
trap card
record
is
player I
activated,
bought?
you can pop one card in the
Let
field
me go
once per
turn it
turn.
on.
If it's destroyed, special summon a Blackluster Soldier or Chaos Monster from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. Bond between teacher and student is a spell card that special summons Dark Magician Girl from your hand after graveyard, if you control a Dark Magician. Then you can set either a Dark Magic attack, Dark Burning Magic, Dark Burning attack, or a Dark Magic Twin Burst directly from your deck. Speaking of the newest style of Dark Magical attacks, Dark Magical Twin Burst was the newest
No. Wow, so it really works! My parents told me that most of the valuable experience from our ancestors. Guess that? In a sense,
so much
this trip to the
Paimon would like to know.
Even though I've heard my parents tell it said that he was the first. That sounds pretty amazing. Yeah. Even
That
now,
sounds
no
needlessly
one has even.
convoluted.
Oddly enough,
Fusion to
it
fuse
really
resources
Very
makes me wonder.
stupid.
and trick monsters onto the field. Both of these cards help make the Amulet Dragon
How about this?
the Dragon Knight
Before
much
we
more
rest
successful,
for the night,
thanks to being a
let's have a
Dragon.
bonfire
However,
party.
that didn't help with Cavalry because Cavalry were the Order type monsters.
If we're going to go
The
plunging
deck
into that
already had
whirlpool
limited
tomorrow,
space
then
and
wouldn't it
put
be
into a
best to
Order
try...
market.
Now's not the time to
That
be a
would
party
also be
pooper.
this deck's major issue as much as
she's
right.
All right.
Specific cards began
what
to clash
are
with the deck and didn't
rules?
synergize the
A
mechanics.
bonfire doesn't have
You
any
wanted to run
rules.
Magician
Okay,
Chaos,
sounds
you
fun.
can't use Dark
So,
Burning
for the first
Magic
question,
because
we were just talking. Let's hear everyone's ideas.
you to run Dark
Paimon
Burning
can go
Magic,
first.
and say goodbye to
If you
Magician
ask
Chaos
Paimon
as you
what
need
the
to tech
purpose
and
of a
room for
journey,
Bond
most
and Dark
importantly,
Magician Girl.
it's
And
about
less room
making
for
the
ritual
trip.
powers
Yes,
like
I
the
can't
Pride
agree
and
more.
Chaos Max. There was just little to no room to run.
I just want to find my brother.
There would be almost no way to get all 3 win mechanics together on the field. That's also not including the fact that by 2019, hand traps were in full effect, completely stopping decks that couldn't play through multiple wins. Dark Magician was, at this point, a first turn or bust deck that couldn't run all the support given without conflicting.
You sure are
and
taking
was,
your
at this
time
point,
thinking
too
about
slow.
it. Oh, I get
really
it.
needed something that
You
could
must
help
have
it get
passed
to
through.
the Dark
It's
Magician
quite
or Dark
possible
Girl
that your
while being
experience
able to keep up with
traveling
meta that
is more than.
established
Why don't I circle back to you
that
later?
card was created in legendary
Next,
duelist magical hero.
Me?
Magician Souls
If
was
you
a level
ask
1
about
spell
my
caster.
travels,
You
that
could set
doesn't
up to 2
matter.
spell trap cards from your side of the
Alright.
field or hand to the graveyard
If
to
I
draw
had to
that
say
cards.
before you reach the
And once per
destination...
turn, you could send a level 6 or higher spellcaster from your deck to
I-
the graveyard to either
Alright.
special summon
All
card
right.
from
If
your
you, in
hand,
my opinion,
or
our
special
goals
summon
and
a Dark
dreams in
Magician
life
or
are all in
Dark
pursuit
Girl
of
from
what
your
we...
graveyard.
So,
There's
the
a
Wow,
variety
you're
greatest
an
meaning
idiot.
of a journey...
Not sure I completely.
There's nothing
It's a free
difficult to
body, an
understand.
extender that helps
It's
you
the
get
same.
rid of
He must
dead
have
spell
discovered
trap
enough
cards
valuable
like
results after
circles on
visiting the
field,
mysterious
and it gives
island
you a
to
free
decide that he
Dark
should
Magician or
end
Dark
his
Girl
journey.
based on what your needs are in place. This card made
Before
Dark
coming
Magicians
here,
shoot
someone
to
had
the mountaintop
stolen the results of one of my research.
Even
All that
spirals
person
and
had to do was sign his name on my
basically any
achievements,
deck that
and
can
he
run
was able to
Magician
take
Souls
all of the
ran
honors.
Magician
Do
Souls
you understand
due to
now,
its
Miss
different
Guide?
effects. Being
I
an extended
sympathize
complete
with your
single plays
situation.
and even
I don't need your
graveyard setup for
sympathy.
spells and traps that
As
were
long as
meant
what
to break.
happened during the
In
day
fact,
already
you could say
proved
it
that
was
my
one of the
theories were
sole
wrong.
reasons that
So I'm willing
Spiral
to
made
trust your
another
judgment.
meta
I must
comeback.
make it
As
to the
combined with
mysterious
Star
island.
Master Plan by setting
That
it
actually
free,
supposed to be an
you either
apology?
use Quick Fix
Actually,
to fetch Big Red
there's
to
a
bring back
saying,
Master Plan,
because
or use
the
Magician's
final
effect to set
destination.
spells
It would
traps
be
to the graveyard
disrespectful of
cards,
my duties.
and then use
That
their
is what I would
graveyard effects
truly
and
call.
rescue to
Just
bring
as
back
you
Master
don't
Plan.
agree with me,
No matter
I
how
can't
you
agree
chose
with
to
you.
do
I'm
it,
not too worried
you could
about
do no
that.
wrong.
What
Two
sort
things
of
can be taken
logic
away from
is...
Souls.
All right,
One
that's
is
it for
Master
this
Plan
round.
did nothing wrong. Two is that Magician Souls is a phenomenal card. It continues to be
be one of the most consistent engines in the game. Though it's really good in the archetype it was built for, it was even better in actual competitive.
Paimon slept so well.
Dark Magician support still got better.
Lonnie and the others seem to
Dark
be up
Magicians
already.
was a fusion
Let's
monster
go see what
requiring
they're up
Dark
to.
Magician and Dark Magician Girl, or a spellcaster monster. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell and trap card, you can draw one card. And if it's a spell and trap card, you can set it face down on your side of the field and activate it that turn. When the
I
Dark
want a
Magicians
shower.
use the field, you get to special summon a Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl from your hand down. This was a great fusion for this archetype. No matter what spell or trap card your opponent decides to activate, you get a +1 and possibly a unactivated quick flavor or trap card. Plus, you get 2 free bodies if this card is destroyed to make up for the materials used for the fusion summon. The monster in the set boosted the Ultimate Wizard, but the spell and trap card support
Add
did
Astra.
wonders for them. Let's start with Soul
Thank
Servant.
you for
This
completing.
is a quick play spell card that lets you place 1 card from your hand
Add
down
Astra.
graveyard that's Dark Magician or specifically list Dark Magician on top of your deck. And near your main phase, you can banish this card from the graveyard to draw cards equal to the number of Palladium monsters, Dark Magicians, or Dark Magician Girls with different names on your field or in your graveyard. Secrets of Dark Magic is like a quick play that lets you activate one of these effects. Either you can summon 1 fusion monster from your deck using monsters from your field, Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl as a fusion material, or ritual summon 1 ritual monster by attributing monsters, including Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, whose levels equal or exceed the ritual monsters.